Them cruises, they be expensive. But there's all kinds of ways that you can save money. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 tips on how you can save money on your next cruise. Coming up next. Booking a guaranteed cabin. Now, for those of you who don't know what a guaranteed cabin is, it is when you book a category of cabin instead of an actual cabin. What happens with a guaranteed cabin is you have that category booked, and then a few days before the cruise, then the cruise line actually assigns you a certain cabin. The biggest benefit is that if you are super lucky and you have booked a lower category cabin, if all of those get filled up, the cruise line could possibly automatically upgrade you to either a balcony room or a suite. This is a great option if you are a solo cruiser or if you are just not super picky about the actual location on the ship that you end up having your cabin. If you have really bad motion sickness, I do not recommend this because you don't want to be stuck at the back of the ship where it's probably going to be vibrating. And you might not want to go in the front of the ship where you're actually hitting the wake of the ocean. If you want to be away from certain areas of the ship, so like you don't want to be next to the nightclub, or if you don't want to be right underneath the pool deck, guaranteed cabin might not be for you. It can be a little bit of a gamble, but if things go your way, it could be the greatest way that you save money on your cruise. Next tip is something called the Future Cruise Desk. For those of you who don't know what the Future Cruise Desk is, it is this teeny tiny little desk that's usually by like guest services and the shore excursions desk. What people don't understand is that this desk is powerful. At this desk, you can actually book a future cruise while you're on your current cruise. So here's how it works. You go to this Future Cruise Desk and you tell them that you want to go on another cruise. They'll have you look at different places you want to go to, some itineraries, different ships or something like that. And basically you're just putting a small deposit down on that cruise. The benefit is you get deeply discounted fares, some really good onboard credit, and the down payment is super cheap or possibly 0. Loyalty is key. The cruise line wants you to have a good time and wants you to go back on another cruise, but they want you to go back on their cruise. The offers are incredibly tempting because that cruise line is getting you to pledge to go on another one of their cruises. I, Anthony Joe Politis, do solemnly swear that I will cruise on your same cruise line. Here's my deposit. It might be a little intimidating because you're going to pick a ship, you're going to pick a destination, you're going to pick a date, but you are not necessarily bound to that particular cruise. They can move you around all different ways. A lot of the finer details will depend on the actual cruise line that you go on, but the majority of them work around those same parameters. But Anthony, what if I already booked my cruise before watching this amazing video? Don't worry, watch for price drops. We've all been there. You book your vacation or your cruise, and then next thing you know, you check your email and a new promotion! A promotion that you missed out on. Well, have no fear. Simply call up your cruise line and ask them if they could rebook you at whatever promotion cost they just announced. It might not always work, but the answer is always no if you don't ask. Don't expect a refund from the cruise line though if they save you money. Usually the difference in the cost, they will just credit to your account in onboard credit. And that onboard credit you can use for all kinds of things. So whereas this one you're not really saving money, but you're getting more out of your cruise for the same amount. All right, tip number 4 is staying in a lower category cabin. This is something that I absolutely love to do. I love to book an ocean view room. That is my absolute favorite. Don't get me wrong, balcony cabins are amazing. Suites are even nicer. But a lot of times these rooms are twice as expensive. Interior rooms, super cheap. I like to do an ocean view because just having that little bit of a window adds a lot. It's bringing in good natural light, and it's not much more expensive than the interior. Last year, when we cruised to the Bahamas, the price difference total for the entire cruise between the interior and the ocean view was $80. We were able to save money on the actual cruise fare by getting that lower cabin, and we could use that other money to splurge on other kind of extras. If you are spending a lot of time in your room, definitely get the balcony, get the suite, if you can afford it. But for me and my wife and some other good friends that we cruise with a lot, we're really only in our room to sleep and shower and get ready to go somewhere else. So since we don't spend a whole lot of time in the room, we don't want to spend a whole lot of money on the room. Now, if you're cruising for your honeymoon or maybe a big anniversary, yeah, you're probably going to want to get a balcony or a suite because you're spending more time in your room. You want those to match up. Amount of time spent in the room, amount of money you spend on the room. If you're in the room a lot, spend a lot. If you're in the room a little bit, spend a little bit. My last tip for you is probably the most beneficial from my experience. Be loyal. Almost everything nowadays in our society has a loyalty program, and cruise lines are no exception. Cruise lines love when you cruise with them, but they especially love it when you only cruise with them. The loyalty programs differ a lot based on the actual cruise line, but across the board on all of them, you're basically going to earn 1 point for every day that you have on the cruise. 5-day cruise, 5 points. 3-day cruise, 3 points. 7-day cruise, 7 points. The more points you have, the better status you have. The better status you have, the greater the reward. And these rewards are sweet! You get discounted fares, invitations to some super exclusive parties, free gifts in your cabin waiting for you, and you can skip the line during embarkation and when you get off the ship to go to the ports. Me, my wife, and my 3 daughters are going on a cruise this November. I was checking my email one day, and because I have a little bit of status with that cruise line, they gave me an exclusive offer. So because of that offer that I got, all 3 of my kids are cruising for just $10 per person per day. $150 for 3 kids to cruise? That's amazing! The best thing is that all of these loyalty programs are absolutely free! And who doesn't like free? Who doesn't like free? So those are 5 tips on how you can save money on a cruise. I can't possibly tell you every single one. I'll have you here all night. I want to hear from you guys. If you have some really good tips on how to save money, leave me a comment on this video and let's start a little conversation. If you got value from this video, please like it and share it with some friends. I'll have more videos coming up with some extra tips for you, so make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you can get all those updates. My name's Anthony, and I'll see you next time.